How's it going, everyone? Well, you may be noticing that the car looks a little bit different since the last time in the last video. As you can see, there's some stuff missing. Like that. Yeah, so I actually did get the bearings in. I'm using these, I don't know, they're from Amazon. It's like just a thin wall bearing with a 10 millimeter inside ID and a 15 millimeter OD. And I got the bearings in, and as you can see, I did press them into the knuckles here. There's actually two of them. There's one in the back as well, back there. Oh, you can see a little bit better on that guy right there. Yeah, there you go. See that? All right. So I got the bearings in and started test fitting stuff, and let's just say it didn't go very well. So here is one of the rims. Yeah, there used to be a shaft that came, or well, part of the print used to stick up to about right there, and that is what actually went inside the bearings and connected to the inner CV joint. As you can see, yeah, that completely snapped off. I did print this at 100% infill, but because I made this square design inside to accept the CV joint, it didn't leave much room, and yeah, it just snapped right off. So these got redesigned and need to be reprinted. And then, since I got the bearings, I was messing with the diff case, and I know I haven't showed you guys anything yet with the differential, but here's the one half of the diff case, and I had to print this in half so that way I can put everything inside. But because I got the diff case, the front steering right here that I actually broke the mount off in the last video, put this up here, and it turns out that it did not like sitting there with the servo because the servo was in the way. So this whole front gearbox is basically, or this front steering, yeah, like the, what's it called? Rack and pinion. The front rack and pinion is going to just be the same as the rear, and I'm remaking where just relocate the servo later on. The tie rods here, they were in two pieces. Here's the other piece right here. Oh, shoot, I'm done throwing it. Here's the other piece right here. And this just kind of slid in there. But there was only like, 2.5 millimeters of engagement, which is very, very little. So I'm going to reprint these and make these just a hair longer, so that way there's more that goes in there and engages in there. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. So I guess I can show you the differential real quick. So this is my little pinion for the differential. Come on, focus. Come on, you can do it. There we go. All right. So as you can see, it's just 100% solid 3D printed. And this just goes down in there. Right now, this case only has one bearing, but later on when I show you the CAD, this is actually going to be reprinted anyways. So when I show you the CAD, it will change immensely. This was the ring gear and housing all in one. You see there's two bearings. This is not changing, so this will be the same. I got to print another one. There is actually a pin in there with a little spider gear that's down in there. Don't know if you can see it. Yep, there you go, right there. There's one of the spider gears. So this will allow it, because it's a four-wheel steering car, this will allow it to steer, so that way when you're steering the inner tires, like if you're steering in this way, the inner tires will actually spin slower and the outer tires will spin faster. So that allows it to do that. And here you can actually see what the inside of that rack and pinion that's back there looks like, because this is half of it. So this just slides in there. There's another half of this top plate that goes on, and then the pinion goes through there. But that's about it. So yeah, I am still waiting for one more pack of the bearings, but that will be coming in soon. So alright, so what I had to do to get these stupid bearings in these hubs, because, you know, I decided to assemble the whole thing before putting the bearings in like a jackass. I used this bolt, and I literally just pushed it in there. I had to use another bearing back here and just tighten down the nut right on it, and it just squeezed them in. Because I made these like press fit in there, so that way you just press them in and hopefully it'll never come back out. Keyword, hopefully. But that's just a quick update for you. I do have like a whole bunch of parts that need to be reprinted. And I actually have some more stuff that's going to be printed anyways, because I got some more CAD work done. And I can show you that real quick if, you know, you want to. If not, then I'll just see you guys in the next one. So here's the CAD. Obviously looks a lot different than last time you saw it. I colored everything semi according to how I colored it on the car. So the frame was supposed to be all orange PLA. I know the steering's orange PLA on the car, but in here I just have it as red. Suspension's green. The wheels will be this gray color, and then all the drivetrain components will be black. And as you can see, I do actually have full drivetrain in here, which I will pull up real quick and show you guys. I know these tires are just like circles or cylinders basically, and there's no like detail. I did have to like redo the tires a little bit because the ones I got were much different than the ones I made originally, but it's fine. It's literally just a quick CAD model while I'm working on it. So here is the steering assembly. This isn't actually colored, but it doesn't matter. So before, this front plate was different, and it had a little circles here for cylinders, spots basically to mount the servo to. And this pinion used a different pinion. It had a different pinion on it that had a hole all the way through for the to bolt to the servo. God, I can't talk. But since it got in the way, I had to just switch it over, which is no big deal. And as you can see right here, I'm working on kind of this servo relocation, I guess. I'm just going to use these two spur gears. I am using helical spur gears because why not? The only place that isn't an actually helical gear is these rack and pinion, which I could use it, but I'm not worried about it. If it becomes an issue later on, then maybe I'll think about reprinting them. But for right now, it works perfectly fine. So this is just where I've gotten to. I do have to work on this more, but I just didn't feel like doing it right now. So here is the full drivetrain. As you can see, looks a lot. Look, actually, I had none of this catted up and didn't show any of this to you guys last time, but let me pull up just the differential right here. So this is just the differential case that I showed you the half, and as you can see, it looks a lot different than what I showed you before. And this is the back for some reason, which is fine. But so the case that I showed you before was just this top part right here, and now it is actually let me direct this top half out of the way for you so you can see. So now here, this is the top half, which you guys didn't see. I did add, so I added these two rails, I'll call them. These are actually going to go onto the two cross members on the frame, and that's what's actually going to hold it in place. And this is actually the length of the cross member, so it will hold it exactly in place. And Then let's see. So yeah, this is the differential, and if I go back here, this is like the full thing completely assembled. So these little spacers, which you guys didn't see, I have to reprint because I printed them wrong. I forgot I was going to put a bearing in here, and I just left it out. But these spider gears right here, I remade them. I'm remaking them because I originally just made them like a flat piece, and if you pulled the this CV joint out, it just fell down in here. So now it's got like a little part in here. Here, let me pull up just this. Yeah, so see, okay, that's cool. So this CV joint before was just like, it ended like right here, and it just only flat part stuck in there. So now this actually has a little piece that goes in there and sits in one of the bearings to just give it some place to rest when CV's not in there. Because I actually have to put these CV joints in after the whole thing is closed up, because otherwise I won't be able to fit them in. But after that, we have here is this is just the transfer case to get or not transfer case, but it's the gearbox attached to the differential to get it down to the thing. And if I get rid of this plate here, you can see I have more helical gears. I believe that this is a 3-to-1 gear ratio, maybe a 2-to-1. I think it may be a 2-to-1 gear ratio. I'm not really sure what gear ratio I made the rear differential with the pinion and ring gear. I think it's like 5-to-1 or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But as you can see, these I didn't show you the other ones, but these look much different than the ones were before. And I do actually have the final length for these axles, so those are going to be there. And this is what I was talking about with the ball and socket type deal. So this can actually rotate freely, and when it's spinning, it'll actually push against those. This axle will probably break multiple times, made just out of plastic, and will probably have to be made out of something else or a stronger plastic. But moving on past that, we have these I'm just calling them drive shafts. I had to split it up in two because my printer is really not that big, so this is just making it easier for me to print. And there is a little connector in there. Here is the actual transfer case. So let's pull up this guy. So as you can see, this top plate, the motor is going to sit right in here. And if I make this one invisible as well, you can see there's a little slot in there for the motor to go in. And this is the same. This is pretty much the same gear ratio as what's over here. I just pretty much copied the gears over and just changed the shafts out for them. But more helical gears, another 3-to-1, or 2-to-1 I mean, sorry. I don't have this constrained to like motion settings or nothing, but it's in there. And then the rear is the same as the front, just kind of mirrored a little bit, just so that way I can get it up and over the the steering box. But yeah, so this is the whole drivetrain. Let me go ahead and fix this, because otherwise it'll break everything. There we go. Alright, so this is the whole gearbox, pretty much all assembled, or the whole drivetrain, my bad, all assembled in. I have pretty much none of this printed yet, so there's going to be a lot of printing coming up very soon. I may film some of it, probably not a lot of it, because who really wants to sit here and watch 17 hours of, I don't know, who wants to watch printing for that long? But if I save these changes and head back over to the full assembly, and it broke everything, that's awesome. Nope, there we go. You can see that the gearbox, everything's just going to sit in here pretty nicely. And this right here is where I'm thinking of locating the servo. So the servo will go in here, the motor's back here, pretty much midway through the car. It's a little bit more than midway through the car. And then the Arduino and all the electronics will sit down in here somewhere. real nice and pretty. As you can see, I do have space. That's what this whole gearbox is for, is to lift it up and over the rack and pinion for the steering. And if I, come on, there we go. If I go here, you can actually see I can drag this, and you can see how that range of motion actually works in there with the axle. And then it doesn't like me because there's too much moving parts. There we go. But yeah, that's pretty much just a quick update for the CAD. I don't see much more CAD coming out for it, besides finishing up this servo mount, which is pretty much just going to look like another transfer case like this is going to be, or gearbox, whatever. It's not going to be anything too exciting. And the electronic mounts, that's more or less just going to look like these steering mounts are. So that'll probably just show you later on. So that's probably pretty much it for the CAD. So get this stuff all printed out, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.